In this video of the Phat beam pedal, I wanted to show you the trim pot on the inside of the pedal and what it does. Some basses, as we know, have lower output than others, especially when you're thinking about passive basses versus active basses. A passive bass may not have as strong of an input signal coming in here to the pedal, and so it would affect the amount of signal going into the compressor. To boost that signal up, there's a little trim pot on the inside of the Phat beam pedal that allows you to adjust that. Now, it's able to go to extreme settings, low and high, and we'll demonstrate those. But before we do that, I wanted to show the knobs on the pedal so that we can actually see how they're set when I tweak the trim pot. The volume's set to 12 o'clock, the blend is max, so we're going completely through the compressor and limiter. The shape knob is set all the way counterclockwise with the high-low switch set to high, so that passes all the frequencies of the bass through the compressor and limiter. The limiter is set to maximum clockwise so that it's basically disabled, and the compressor is set here to about 3 o'clock so that we get a good round compression going into the pedal. The VCA switch is turned on, and of course the pedal is active. And you can see it's actually kicking on with the LED there is changing color. Okay, so I'm going to flip the pedal over here. Now to access this back plate, there are 4 Phillips head screws here that you would need to undo. And this is how you would get here to change out the 9-volt battery if you use one. This is the trim pot. The trim pot, fully counterclockwise, has the least effect, has the lowest input going into the compressor. But as I turn this trim pot clockwise, it's going to add some gain going into the input of the compressor. You hear that as it rings out, the sustain's there. And we're going to crank this up a little bit more. You hear a little bit more sustain there. Now I'm going to crank this up a little higher. Hear that sustain? So what I'm doing is I'm adding gain going into the compressor so that the compressor compresses harder. Now I'm going to crank this up all the way. Hear that noise? That noise is actually because my bass is really close to my computer, so you hear a little bit of clicking and hiss and such. But notice when I start playing the bass, that noise goes away. Let this fade. So the gain going into the compressor is a lot louder. Now a good place to start with this is fully minimal or fully counterclockwise, and then go up from there, just whatever feels comfortable for you. I've got mine set to probably about 30%. So that way it's low noise, but I get a little bit of sustain, and my active bass is not overloading the compressor input. But that's the Phat beam pedal trim pot on the inside. Again, this adjusts the input gain of the compressor. Feel free to tweak it at your will. Give it a few different settings before you close up the box, because once you do, it's of course you have to get back inside. So I would say, again, about 30% clockwise is where I would start for me, but fully counterclockwise is where I would normally start if I've never touched this before. Anyway, enjoy, and thanks for watching.